Many books that have ever been published could be considered a classic of that time period, with their elements of literature and their storylines that captivate the readers completely. Some of those majestic writings were developed by Jane Austen. In fact, all of her books can be considered British classics because of her ability to capture the essence of that current time period in her writing. Even more specifically, her early 1800s novel Mansfield Park. Mansfield Park, published in 1814, is a clear example of what a British classic should represent. Not only that, but she makes a clear connection to the structure of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, with particular cycles, circumstances, and situations, all of which capture the essence of that specific time period in which Austen presided. Mansfield Park is about a young girl named Fanny Price who comes to live with her wealthy uncle and aunt, Sir Thomas and Lady Bertram. Fanny's family is quite poor. Her mother married beneath her, and her father is unable to support their family. Fanny is forced to start a new life with her cousins, aunts, and uncle in the Bertram's estate. The Bertram daughters, Maria and Julia, are cruel and shallow girls, and the eldest son, Tom, is a man of manual labor and is a drunk. Fanny finds comfort only in the friendship of the younger son, Edmund, who is planning to become a clergyman, and to her surprise is the man she turns to fall in love with, although she does not admit it to herself. Fanny grows up shy and is usually caught between family arguments and discussions. During the course of the book, Sir Thomas, Fanny's uncle, leaves and new members come to live in Mansfield Park, such as Henry and Mary Crawford, brother and sister of the local minister's wife. Henry and Mary soon become indispensable members of the Mansfield circle, flirting extensively with members of the Bertram family and causing conflict between siblings and their significant others. In the end, Fanny is able to find herself both as a person and as a member of a highly sophisticated and usually exclusive community, all while living in the world of romance. Jane Austen was born in 1775 and never married. She began writing when she was still young. Her first works can be dated back to when she was 12, and her first important novel, Pride and Prejudice, was written when she was only 22. Her books were well received by everyone. Even royalty were said to be fans of her writing. Austen was modest about her work and died at 42, having lived a quiet life. However, her novels display a great knowledge about emotion, especially love and romance, and an appreciation for intelligence and the natural beauty that is consistent with Romanticism. Austen's books have the awareness and conditions of modernism and city life and the consequences for family structure and individual character. Mansfield Park is a classic version of a love story and was written between 1811 and 1813, although it was not published and put in print until 1814. It is a very socially aware novel where Austen focuses on the history of British upper-class wealth. Mansfield Park has a large amount of literary significance and importance that sets it apart from other novels of this specific time period, the main reason being that the characters and circumstances that are depicted in this novel show how life was like back in the 1800s when the social class was a major part of how society functioned. Also, the movement in class and how Fanny is able to adapt to her new surroundings is consistent with the monomyth, or hero's journey, with a departure from her own world, an initiation into a new world with a series of challenges, and a return to her own world. The main literary element that connects Mansfield Park to Things Fall Apart is the monomyth in the hero's passage, which is consistent in both stories with both main characters, Fanny and Okonkwo. In Mansfield Park, Fanny leaves her home, departing from her way of life to face challenges, just like Okonkwo was forced to leave his home after accidentally killing a 16-year-old boy in a ceremony. Fanny is then initiated into the new community, similar to how Okonkwo was eventually accepted into his motherlands. Lastly, Fanny goes through her return at the end of the book in relation to Okonkwo at the end of his life.
There is an honesty behind a glance, a meaning behind a touch, and faith cried with a tear.
What I desire above all in a wife is firmness of character.
There are lies behind a promise, importance in a whim, and deceit sealed with a kiss.
Beware how you give your heart. Fear and promises often deceive, you know.
There is hope behind a gesture, value in a token.
I would introduce an element of the unexpected, of romance.
And unspoken love, delivered with a smile.